Erika Pinocchio Kirk, I've got a question. How much did you pay the Daily Mail to run that stupid article? Allegedly. Let's get into it.
Nikki in the building, baby. Nikki in the building, baby. In Cahoots podcast. Yeah. I keep God first, that's real. True crime on the table, facts on steel. Investigations, I chase that trail. If the story don't add up, I set it straight, no fail. I spot fake tears, I spot lies. Sketchy little moves, I see through the disguise. I'm fair, I'm funny, I bring that light. I call you out, then I'll still be polite.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of In Cahoots Podcast. My name is Nikki. Before we get into this video, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the hype button, very important, and also please make sure that you like the video, comment, share it, turn on your post notifications, and don't forget to click the join button to become a member. I am doing this completely full-time now, so any support that I can get is very much appreciated. So Candace Owens has been tap dancing all over TPUSA's neck and, of course, Erika Pinocchio Kirk's neck all weekend. Yesterday, she went live to go over the article that the Daily Mail put out where, they're saying, hey, we saw it, believe me. Now, everybody gets on Candace Owens for this whole trust me, bro thing, but that was the biggest example of trust me, bro that I have ever seen ever in everdom. And we're going to get into it. So I'm going to play just a couple of clips and then we're going to talk about it.
We broke the story that video is likely not authentic. People with direct knowledge tell me that, yes, certainly a question was asked, but the answer which Charlie gave was simply that he trusted his lieutenants at the company to figure things out in the event of his absence. His mind just was not there. So this would imply that Turning Point USA used AI tools to add a sentence that Charlie never said, handing the reins of his company over to his wife. That was what that would have accomplished, right? Well, the scandal is now growing because after 46 long days and long nights of us asking Turning Point USA, specifically of us asking Blakey Neff to just release the footage, very easy ask, by the way, remember, they already released the audio. It was them. They told the story. They released the audio. No one said, hey, make that your walkout music, Erika. We want some audio of Charlie naming you the CEO. You released the audio, so it's not exactly a major ask to simply release the video component alongside with it, right?
It all just kind of makes you think, you know what I mean? Like when Erika said that she went to the White House dinner so that she could confront journalists such as the Daily Mail for all the slandering and whatnot. It just makes you wonder, did you go to confront them or did you go to ask them to do you a favor? Or did you pay them? Allegedly. But how much sense does that make that you just made a whole Rhythm Nation video, Erika Pinocchio Kirk, basically saying that you had to pull up on the Daily Mail and then they just asked you nicely for the video of Charlie Kirk naming you as his successor? They just asked you really nicely and you said, okay, I'll do it. I think, in my opinion, Erika showed up to that dinner not to confront the naysayers. No, I think she showed up to have a one-on-one with journalists and ask them to push that stupid article. And Candace is right. Nobody asked her to walk out to each one of her events with Charlie Kirk's voice in the background, saying that he wants her to be his successor. No one asked for that. They willingly did that. In my opinion, they did that because it was already like a damage control situation. Like, just in case anybody asks or just in case anybody is wondering, you can just hear it. You can hear him say it. But I don't think that they thought far enough to think, oh, wait, maybe they may want to actually see him saying it. They thought it would just be enough to hear it. Now things are just going left. Erika, you got to do better. You just do. You have to do better, Erika. We've already given up on Andrew Fairy Tale Flight COVID, and Blake Neff is an egg. Somebody needs to just carry him back over to the refrigerator and place him back in that damn carton of eggs, because he's not helping either. But Erika, you are the CEO. You need to do better. This is just bad.
So what did they do? They instead decided the next right step was to show the footage exclusively via a private screening, a secret private screening, to some journalists over at the Daily Mail. And this journalist, Charlie Spearing, look, no, not calling him out for anything. He probably just tried to verify the video, but he wrote an article. It says exclusive bombshell secret video of Charlie Kirk naming his true Turning Point successor days before the assassination. And so people thought the video must have been embedded in here. Of course it was not. The article is behind a paywall. People were upset they paid because they thought that we were going to see this video. What they actually got was essentially the claim that the scandal could now be put to rest because just trust the journalists have seen the footage. They describe how the journalists had seen the footage. Did they go on to receive a link and onto Zoom and have Turning Point show them on a screen? Was it actually sent to them in a separate file? Did they fly out to Arizona for this screening? No, we don't get any information. Just trust the journalists.
I just wondered, does TPUSA, mainly Erika, do they realize they just duped their entire following? All their supporters, donors even, they duped them. If I was an Erika supporter, I would be ticked off. And I'll tell you why. Number one, you have the Daily Mail, whom you said you confronted for talking crap, right? Okay, sure. So you have them write this stupid article, and then you allow them to charge people to read it. Now, whether you are on the side of Erika or whether you are on the side of Candace or just in the middle, you're going to want to know for different reasons. You're going to want to pay for that article so that you can figure out if the video is actually there. If you're on the side of Erika, it's so that you can be like, you know what? You see, Candace Owens, she's a liar. Don't listen to her. You see, they proved it. Now, this should shut her up. If you're in the middle, you might pay for it because you're just nosy and you're like, well, damn. There it is. There is the video. Next. And then if you're on Candace's side, you may want to see the video for multiple reasons. Prove 1,000 different things, such as there is a motive. Okay, they have a video. Is it AI? Is this real or not? Just a million different reasons. Multiple reasons that each and every person would want to see this video. Erika allowed this article to come out behind a paywall, but she gets upset when people say that all they think about and care about is money. Being that was a whole basic like bamboozle because everyone thought that the video would be attached. I mean, they could have at least put in the headline, video not attached, but information on secret video, whatever. But they didn't do that. They allowed people to think that the video was in that article so that people would buy it and spend money. Money, money, money. It's all about the money. But Erika, didn't you say?
When you go after the people that I love and you're making hundreds and thousands of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're in on this, no.
So Erika, how much did the Daily Mail make off of duping your audience, your followers, your supporters, your donors? How much did they make? Hundreds of thousands? Maybe $1 million? How much? How much did you have to pay them to put out a nothing burger? So she criticizes people for doing what they've already been doing, basically, announcing their sponsors, getting super chats. It's the living that they make. But just because it's about her husband, Turning Point, or whatever the case may be, it's not okay. But yet and still, You okay it for Daily Mail, people that you say that you're so upset with and you want to confront them and have them say it all to your face. You allow them to charge people for absolutely nothing.
Charlie, who was a literal boy genius, did not think to simply put this in his corporate will. He had one, Turning Point USA. They had a corporate will. And that is what wills are for. What you will to happen after you pass. So we are to believe he just kept saying this over and over again. Like, if anything happens to me, I just want Erika to take over this place. I just want Erika to take over this place. When it came down to the paperwork, he just skipped that part. Was Erika in the corporate will? Yeah. I'm told Erika actually was named and she inherited $10 million. That may or may not be correct. I didn't get a question on Turning Point USA, but I was told this very early on from someone on the inside. So he thought about Erika when he did his will for her to get paid. Maybe it wasn't 10 million, who knows? I'm actually almost certain it was like 10 million. But for some reason, he didn't write that he wanted her to become the CEO. That feels like a bit of a miss.
Erika has said this many times. She said that her and Charlie would always talk about it, that something could possibly happen to him. Anything could possibly happen, and this and that and this. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. If they're talking about his profession and having conversations with not even just Erika, but his team also, that something could happen to him, I don't think he was talking about a heart attack. I don't think he was talking about a stroke. I don't think he was talking about a car accident. I think he was obviously referring to someone taking him out. Why on earth would Erika, TPUSA and friends, the egg, why would they expect us to believe that Charlie Kirk thought his profession was so dangerous and so unpredictable that maybe, just maybe, someone would take him out one day? And in the event that they do, please put Erika exactly where I was when I was taken out. In the event that that would happen one day, please make sure that Erika is not home with her kids and she is openly exposed, traveling 24/7. I know I told her home needs her, but please make sure that she's out there. How much sense does that make? I don't see Charlie being so fearful of losing his life, or just knowing that it could happen one day, knowing that if it did happen one day, there's a very difficult conversation that Erika is going to have with his children. I don't see him saying, honey, if this happens to me right after that conversation with the kids, your turn. You do it next. So did they also appoint who they want to sit down with their kids to have a second conversation? God forbid. Allegedly. And God forbid. Because I would never want to see anything happen to Erika. But why expose yourself and put yourself out there and then allegedly make up some audio or whatever the case may be of Charlie Kirk saying, I appoint my wife? That doesn't even make sense. I'm starting to think that Erika, even though she was at some of his events, even though she heard him speak for years or whatever the case may be, I'm starting to think she didn't listen to just not one word that man said. Because if she did truly listen, she would not try to feed us the BS that she is. And everybody wants to say, oh, what would Charlie think? Charlie would be so upset if he knew that people were bashing Erika or criticizing Erika. He would be so upset. Have you stopped to think that maybe Charlie would be upset with you guys for pushing, supporting, and allowing his wife to just go out exposed, trying to be the next Charlie Kirk, keeping his dream alive, his vision alive, that's one thing. Yes, okay, that's fine. But deliberately putting yourself in harm's way, you don't think Charlie would be upset with that? He said home needs you before he passed away. You're at home. And then Erika says, oh, well, I'm going to spend time at home and this and that. But in a couple days, I'm going to leave home because I want to put on my Rhythm Nation outfit and get my Janet Jackson on and tell Candace Owens off. Like, make it make sense.
I have a question. Why can't they just release the footage? Oh, they have that in the article as well. The excuse that Turning Point provides for why they cannot release the footage themselves is because it would violate donor privacy. It reads, quote, while the public release of the video would prove Owens's suggestions of a fraud to be false, some of the organization believe good faith efforts would be rejected and the video would be weaponized. And on top of those concerns, the donor who asked the succession question does not want her question and identity revealed to the public. Sources within the organization told the Daily Mail. How's your fourth booster, guys?
Stupid. So it's okay to put out an audio, but you're violating donor privacy with visuals that you can blur. If the donors do not want to be seen or heard, don't play that part. We've already heard it. We don't need to see the donor asking the question. We know the donor asked the question. Cut it all out and only show the visuals of Charlie saying that he appoints his wife as the CEO. Why is this hard all of a sudden? Is it because it doesn't exist, allegedly? All of this privacy thing, super secret video. Erika, you stuffed us in his casket. That should have been a private moment. That should have been secret. That should have been a moment that none of us got the chance to see. So you're telling me it is okay to place us inside of Charlie Kirk's casket with you and listen to you cry and have this moment with your husband, but it's not okay to show a man for 5 seconds tops say, I appoint my wife as CEO. I'm just going to be honest. This all just brings me back to how they met. When Charlie tells the story, he said, within the first 15 minutes of speaking with Erika at Bill's Burgers, he instantly thought, I'm not going to hire her. I'm going to date her. And then I look back on the recent interview with Elizabeth Lane and Candace Owens, and Candace mentioning the fact that
So when Erika, then Tyler Boyer sets up this, like, I have this person for you to meet, and he comes and he's like, oh, well, she's a bit older. And initially he was like, I'm just going to use her to try to like get so-and-so jealous or whatever, because this was like the first date or whatever. And then she was a bit more persistent and giving him the godly spiel, and the messages, and I'm just going through our messages, like, look, this is maybe what God wanted me to have. And, he was sort of wrapped in on, hooked on that because Charlie is a Christian.
So, Erika, how long have you been allegedly using the Bible to manipulate people? Charlie wasn't going on that date because he was hopelessly attracted to Erika Regine Pinocchio Kirk, Franz Vey, at the time. He went on that date because he wanted to make the other girl jealous. The other woman that he was head over heels for, heartbroken that she turned him down. So it makes sense to me almost when Charlie's like, not gonna hire you, I'm gonna date you. Let's move this along. Because this other girl that I'm seeing, she needs to see this. Let's move this along. And then you have Erika quoting scripture, putting it in his head, like, well, this is what two people dating should do, and this is what God says, and God says this, and God says that, knowing that Charlie is a Christian, knowing that Charlie's also young, making Charlie think, well, this must be God, right? Like, No other woman is quoting scripture back to back to back to back to back like this to me. It must be, right? Sounds like she manipulated him into a relationship. I mean, if you really think about it, Charlie already met Erika not long before this Bill's Burger place or whatever at the Turning Point grand opening. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard any stories from Tyler, Charlie, Erika, Candace, Egg, Andrew, none of them saying the moment Charlie met Erika at the Turning Point event opening, he was head over heels. When she showed up to that grand opening, it was like nobody else was in the room. I have not heard that story. I could be wrong, so if you have, let me know. But that's not where his mind was. He wasn't interested in Erika. He would have tried or made a move or thought about it then, don't you think? But then he finds an opportunity to make another woman jealous, takes it, and then kind of gets stuck. And that's sad. Everything I'm saying is alleged. I'm just going off of what I heard Charlie say, what I heard Erika say, what I heard Candace say. And I don't know these people, so I'm going to say allegedly. But if that is the case, that is sad. But that is all I have for you today. I'm going to wrap this video up. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. If you want to support the channel in any way, I do have my Cash App, Venmo on the screen. Any support helps, as I am doing this full time now. If you want to click to join and become a member, that is also huge support for the channel. And you can always follow me on my social accounts. They are also on the screen there. But as always, don't forget to hit the hype button, subscribe, like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. Turn on your notifications. And as always, guys, my name is Nikki. This has been In Cahoots Podcast. Peace.